Good evening, Speed Gaming 2, and welcome to the Link to the Past Randomizer Daily Race. We've got a great Ambrosia race for you here, mode we haven't seen in a while at this point. And we have 4 runners for you today. So we've got Homemade Beer, Josh Bleeden, Mindium, and Oro, and they are off with their
Boots and Pod. Hello, by the way. I'm
They have swords. They have vampire skewers. I'm Drosy. I'm here with Star 1468.
And Oro has a palette shuffle as you see a map check. I think that was a Pendant Desert, Red Crystal Eastern, and regular Crystal Hera.
That's what I saw.
Usually really suck at map checks, but I managed to catch that one.
So, Ambrosia mode, for those of you who haven't seen it, it's a standard mode, so we're starting by having to rescue Zelda. It's an assured sword, so all the runners started with a sword. Uncle will always give you a boots hint, so, nice to know that it's in pod as we see.
Hey, powder.
Magic powder. And the other quirky thing about this mode is that bosses will always have a non-dungeon item. So
they are guaranteed to be useful. It can't be a key, it can't be a map, can't be a compass. It's going to be an actual item. Could be doesn't need to be useful, but it's a non-dungeon item.
Yes, they could still have the Hour of Destiny or the single rupee or all those other items you never want to see.
Yep. Actually, let me, misclick, put in the commands actually real quick. 2 shoutouts to our 4 runners. Put in their links in chat. The Homemade Beer, Just Bleed, and Mindium and Oro, as well as to my co-commentator Jossie and our tracker, our Terrell, who has volunteered to do quadruple duty today. As I see a red meringue in the next chest here in Escape.
Yeah, would have been funny if the red meringue were in the blue meringue chest, but no, it was in the map chest.
Yeah, I was gonna say I was thinking I paused here because I was trying to remember where the blue meringue is, but that's not it.
So we do have 2 more checks on our way down here.
I find it funny. Oro's palette shuffle still has a vanilla palette for the castle.
Slightly darker, it looks like.
Perhaps it's a little hard to tell if it's just the palette or if it's just technical differences. Yeah, perhaps slightly darker, but I honestly can't tell because there's just minor differences in the setup of the runners and what have you.
So we do need to find a key soon. It'll either be here in Zelda's cell.
We saw the key already, I'm pretty sure.
None of the runners have a key on them.
Oh wait, I thought I saw one pop up, but I must have just seen it. And there it is.
Yeah, if it hadn't been there, it would have had to have been in Dark Cross.
Yep. Let's see if the lamp's in Dark Cross again. Last time I commentated a daily was also Ambrosia, and the lamp was in Dark Cross.
That's kind of funny since you get a free light cone anyway.
Yeah, I just pretty much died of laughter seeing for a while. Lamp in Dark Cross, just the irony of that.
Now, there is an outside chance that you could have the lamp in GT in this seed because theoretically, if Pod and Meyer and Turtle Rock are... No, actually, sorry, right. We already know Desert Dependent Dungeon. Scratch that.
I was just going to say we definitely need the lamp to get to GT today since, we have already seen one pendant and Pod, Meyer, and Turtle Rock all require the lamp in Logic. Oro, the first of our runners out to the front, and the back of Hyrule Castle looks a bit more shuffled in palette than Escape. The first part of Escape was. This is looking distinctly greener than the usuals.
And a bit more purple in there, and yeah.
Yeah, not too much else to talk about. It's standard opener. There's really not as long as this, might as well discuss the palette a bit. This bit looks a bit more vanilla, but palette shuffle sometimes.
Our other three runners are fairly synced with Oro about a full room ahead of the rest of them.
Yeah, no one has. Oh, actually, I was looking at bomb cans. Viendium and Homemade Beer have both found one. Oro and Just Bleeded, no luck so far, unfortunately. We did see the map there, Dark Cross, so we do know there are 3 items in the back.
Yeah, and those 3 items could be important. I mean, the worst case scenario is when one of them's a glove and you have to go all the way through the back of Escape again to get it once you have bombs.
And unfortunately, you only need 1 bomb, but unfortunately that 1 bomb is not where to be found right now for Oro and Just.
Yeah, Oro's given up on it.
Yeah, just gonna leave that behind for now. We will see it here from Viendium and Homemade Beer. Just continues to not have any luck.
Viendium didn't aim his bomb very well.
Oh no! Thankfully, there was a heart piece, a heart container, and I forget what the 3rd item was, some kind of junk. And just more junk in the sanctuary. Yeah, that is unfortunate that Viendium missed his one and only bomb. Coming out of Oro first out of Escape, Viendium and Homemade, and then the other 3 all pretty close together.
Oh, I didn't realize it was a green pendant, but our tracker is quite on top of that.
Yep, okay, I did miss that. Oro's palette is mercifully not particularly neon today. I have had to commentate people with particularly neon palettes. That gets rather awful on the eyes after a while.
Yeah, not really doing plaid or anything like that. It's reasonable, just a little bit dark.
Yeah. I'll take that over. I remember distinctly a neon green and bright purple overworld for one particularly unfortunate palette shuffle I saw once. That was not fun.
So we got a big 20 in the mushroom spot. Oh, and Bombos in the Thieves' Hideout. But yeah, these runners are not hurting for money. They're going to be fine for Kakariko. Yeah, so
I did miss what Lumberjack was for both Viendium and Joss, unfortunately. Rips.
I also missed Lumberjack because I was noticing the Bombos.
Yeah, pretty much same here.
So now for Kakariko, Oro is actually the only one of our runners who has bombs entering CAC, while all of our other runners will probably have to go to the store first to buy some.
Not a huge deal since they all have plenty enough money. Just might be the one sitting at least, yeah, with 163. There's a flute, convenient, and the cane.
And the flippers.
Yeah. Flute, cane, and flippers, and blind touch. You know what? Sure.
Yeah, that paid off pretty well.
I'd say so. Also very convenient to have get the flute in cash, because it means you can just activate it immediately.
And then you just use the flippers when you do your South Shore checks.
Perfect. Well time, let's see. Hey, glove! Okay, this cat's being ridiculous. And the ice riding chicken house.
No ice rod hunt today?
Yep. A bottle of red goo, some bombs, and some more bombs.
I mean, bottle's also a nice thing to find on your way through Hero. Bottle merchant's a ripoff, but you can visit Sick Kid your first time through and not have to worry about going back for that.
This is so far being a ridiculously nice Ambrosia scene. Just straight up a ridiculously nice scene, generally. Heck has been loaded. Also, I'm kind of curious, do you recognize Joss and Meandium sprites? I don't off the top of my head.
I don't. Is Mindiam like chic or something?
That does not ring a bell as chic, I'll be honest with you.
Or else it's like Locke in Thief mode from Final Fantasy VI, but...
Okay, zeroing in chat confirming, thank you. Also, hello.
Chat's confirming Locke Thief, okay.
Yep, that's what I was just talking about. Hi, zeroing. Yep. And yeah, I do recognize Homey Beers. Obviously, the Vanilla Sprite, and Oro is Samus. Picking up just 10 arrows off Sick Kid. At least it's convenient routing. Pete from Harvest Moon, thank you. I am really bad with ALTTP sprites.
I know some of them, but I'm totally lost for others of them.
Yeah, I recognize some of the most common and most recognizable ones, but generally, good luck. Obviously, the various Link sprites are usually pretty recognizable. Homemade Beer has just straight up got a vanilla one.
Whoa!
Is that yes on the shelf?
No, that was a bow in not Lumberjack Library.
Okay, that's what it was. I thought I saw something yellow, but I can't tell. Alright, race game is Ether.
Gonna grab that medallion since you never know which ones you'll need.
Yeah, no reason not to. So that is a very interesting spot for a bow, especially knowing that we have boots in pod.
Yeah, depending where the boots are, and everything, the game could be setting us up for a required double dip of pod. Alternatively, that's our logical silver sitting there in the library, and the boots are themselves bow locked.
Yep. Oopsies,
or you didn't need to celebrate just by picking up Ether there.
Using it by accident. Oopsies.
Quick Swap really needs a use at your own risk disclaimer.
That is a funny one. Alright, the others close behind. Meandium last to pick up Ether here.
Meandium also had to dodge the duck because he had already called the duck expecting to leave and then was like, oh, I probably could use that medallion.
Yeah, that too would probably explains a couple seconds difference here. Nope, okay, South Shore is a bit purple, but not pinkish purple, but not too awful on the eyes for Oro.
Oro's trying to scrounge up all these big 20s, which is our stun prize today. Good way to accumulate Zora money.
That's what I was going to say. That's Zora money here. Just getting there pretty quickly. And Joss is actually quitting to sing. Huh. Okay, taking a divergent route from everyone else.
Because he never did back of escape.
Yep, makes sense. Unfortunately, we know there's not much of this involved in there. Let's see. Vinny Moldrum Cave. Red rupee, 10 rupees. There's the lamp. There's the mushroom. And there's the moon pearl.
Okay, so we are either a mitts or a hammer away from Dark World access.
Yep.
Alternatively, we're also a cape or a master sword away from Aga access.
Yeah.
And just want to give a shout out to Homemade Beer for using Ether in Mini Moldorm Cave and the whole no nonsense, I'm not gonna bother with this, just mow them down.
Yeah. Completely missed what Lake Hylia Island was for them. Just Bleed decided to just go Houlihan for Zora money, which makes a lot of sense. All of our 5 item locations really paying out today between, well, Blind's Hut and Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, and with already having powder, you know you can safely turn in the mushroom. You don't need to fake powder. Oh, we got a second bottle on Hobo.
What I was just gonna say. And just some bombs and ice rock cave there for Oro. Alright, shroom turn in for homemade beer. I usually try to shorten people's names on comments, but I'm not sure how you shorten that.
Yeah, beer doesn't quite work. I don't know, homemade.
That sounds weird. Okay, like let's just $20 and heart container on the shroom turn in. Yeah, I don't have a good one for you, Jossie, for that short homemade beer. HMV, I guess?
Yeah. Which sounds too much like HMV.
Yeah.
So I expect Oro to be the first one to get the Zora check unless me and DM decides to skip Hobo.
I doubt it. Yeah, it looks like Meanium is heading for Hobo as Homemade Beer's gonna check out the back of Saha's hut.
Oh, and Josh going to step past Homemade Beer bomboses the mini Molgarms.
You know what? Sure. Yeah, absolute junk in the back of Saha's hut.
Okay. 4 checks back here for Oro, who's down to half a heart.
Well, never mind. Just pick up the heart. Speaking of. And Homemade Beer is climbing the mountain.
Man DM is also down to half a heart. He needs to be careful.
Zora Ledge is just some more money.
You might need it after Zora rips you off.
The MDM is a little short, but the Zora money won't be quite enough.
A little short for a stormtrooper.
Old man. Getting that rock a fair bit has a heart container. And just $20 on Zora. The scam as always.
Life lessons for sale.
As usual. Looks like this will probably be a Death Mountain play as well for Oro. Thank you, Professor Ender, who is our broadcast operator for today, saying yeah, we'll fix this thing on Oro, because I did just thank you. I completely missed that. Oro is a full of seconds behind the others, according to their personal timer. Just some more bombs and inside Spectacle Rock for Homemade Beer. And a shield on top.
Yeah, and without, like, the mirror or the hookshot or anything, we've got a Gina and we've got Eastern Palace, and that's about it.
Pretty much. Nothing on Desert Ledge either.
And there has to be progression in one of those locations.
Yeah, because we are out of other places to go, despite them getting a quite generous amount of stuff early on. Actually, I misidentified. There was a lot of money, actually, on the Zora Ledge. Thought it was like $50, not 300. Oops. Nagina's just
was it a 300?
Yeah, $300 on the Zora Ledge. Yeah,
okay, so
it's Eastern because we've run out of everything else.
Yeah, so now the question is who'll be the first to go there, because they're all repeating each other's checks right now. Oh, our fairy reward is green goo, which is actually vanilla.
I think Homemade Beer's the closest out of the 4 once he... Maybe, it's hard to say. Kanor Cape would open Spike Cave. True, but yeah, that would be... Cape would also open up, Aga 1, so... make it that way you will.
No, you'd need Hammer for Spike Cave, at which point we'd have Dark World access.
Oh, yeah, also that, I forget.
So yeah, Oro's got this Spec Rock check.
Yeah, shield and bombs.
Yeah, and then the eastern area, but I forget who's already, like, looted Saha's closet
I think that was Meandium.
Okay. So Oro's going to go in that direction, presumably first looting Saha's closet. No, Oro hasn't
done the
a
desert checks
Gina yet.
Yeah, they're all just retracing each other's steps, trying to not go to Eastern without a bow, because bowless Eastern in Ambrosia is actually kind of annoying.
But from what we have seen, bowless Eastern has our progression, period.
Yeah, it has to. It's just not an appealing idea. Ambrosia, you start with the sword. Uncle gives you a hint for the boots. Today they happen to be in pod. And bosses are guaranteed to have non-dungeon items. Can't have a map, can't have a compass, can't have a key of any kind. Doesn't mean it has to be useful, though. Today's Ambrosia Seed boots is all particularly interesting that the boots are in pod, considering that there is a bow on the library. That's fact.
I like Homemade Beer's thing. You know, he discovers green potion. Oh, okay, I'll refill my magic and wait to refill the bottle again.
Not a bad idea, in all honesty. The seed gave them a lot of items. They just can't do it. They're just kind of stuck on checks. For us, at least, we're down to Eastern. They can access just 2 items in there at the moment without the bow, since they're just on Armos Knights, but there's no other choice, really. Saha's hut is looking extremely gray today for Oro.
And with that lamp, it means that they could have to go all the way to the vanilla big key chest.
Yeah, also, Oro, okay, just gonna do that, huh?
I don't know if that's necessarily faster.
The second bow, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about there. I'm also not very familiar with ALTTP's item logic. Yeah, it is required as logically required for Ganon. Looks like Meandium's first into Eastern, Oro close behind, and then Homemade Beer and Just bleeding a little further behind that. I don't think it's advanced item logic. Advanced hardened expert item pools do remove silvers from the pool, unless Swordless is on, in which case you're going to get silvers, because Swordless, silverless Ganon does not make for any kind of fun.
So even though this is advanced logic, it's 100% inventory. It's not beatable. So all non-dungeon items have to be available before you face Ganon.
Yeah.
But that's the only requirement for the silvers for the second progressive bow.
Yeah, we do not have a mode command. This is not at least I don't think we do for this, but it's literally just at the top of your screen. It says right at the top, ALTTP Daily Race Ambrosia. Advanced placement is still not. No, it still requires silvers and logic for Ganon. I'm pretty sure that does not change an advanced item in the placement logic.
Yes, I think even if it were beatable, the logic would still require silvers for Ganon.
Yeah, Oro actually bailed out of Eastern. With having actually picked up a pair of mitts is what I preferred. There we go.
Yep, there's our Dark World access.
Yep.
Which is a pain when it comes to getting to East Dark World, where we know we want to get because the boots are in pod.
Yeah.
But actually flippers.
I was just going to say, we have flippers, Rossi. That is not an issue.
It's still a pain because it's a long walk.
It is, but at least don't deal with any curve jumps or anything. Alright, map check. Red Crystal, Turtle Rock, Pendant Pod, lovely. Pendant Ice. Boots in Pendant Pod, everyone. Yuck!
Are you really surprised?
Not really, but I'm amused. I mean, it is a Professor Red seed, and Professor seeds are not known for being any good.
And based on where Oro's going, I think Oro wants those boots.
Oh! Yandium, the only one to continue in Eastern after the mitts and gets a bow out of the big key chest.
Also, that makes things interesting because even if Oro can potion glitch to get to the Bowlock side, we know Helma King has an item. Helma King could have the boots. That means that the boots would be hard Bowlocked.
It is entirely possible. That is also really interesting. Everyone else built after mitts. Yandium was the only one to stick around for the second item in the front of Eastern.
Let's see what Josh does.
So far, yes, at least.
Joss is continuing.
House had junk, and okay, actually, yeah, Joss is continuing, at least for the moment. We'll see how far they go, or he goes, pronouns. Sea House was junk, chess game was junk.
Hey, chess game was vanilla.
We always is half magic.
Ooh.
Can't complain.
We always seem to have plenty of vanilla pieces of hearts in any given seed.
There are a lot of heart pieces, after all.
That's true. One of the most common junk items behind big 20s.
Yep. And yeah, Joss is sticking around at least a little longer in Eastern. And hey, Master Sword and Armless Knights really
Whoa. I mean, all of our runners will be getting that eventually since it's a crystal, but certainly nice to have sooner rather than later.
Yeah, Homemade Deer and Oro are going to be missing their bow for a while, as you see. The first chest of Thief Town has the big key.
And then, since they know where the other bow is, they'll go all the way to Pod to get their boots, go back, get the bow off of library,
go Eastern,
finish Eastern, and be like, oh.
Yeah, this wish especially hurts because it's pendant Pod. If it were Crystal Pod, it wouldn't be as bad, but pendant Pod just feels horrible as you see a third sword in the front of Thief Town. Okay. So the Armless Knight's bow, not as much of a big deal, but that bow is gonna definitely make things interesting.
So what's Mindium doing? He has Dark World access. Is he that interested in what's in Spec Rock?
I'm not sure either.
It looks like he's that interested in what's in Spec Rock.
Okay, I'm not sure why either. Oro heading for Pod now. This is a feels bad moment. Also, shoutouts to that all 3 items in Eastern were really useful.
Yeah. You don't see that every day. But hey, Chad, if you want to guess where in Pod the boots are...
Have at it. Well, I'm gonna guess they're on home floor just because why not?
Would be funny.
And we're bow locked out of Pod. We are bow locked out of Pod, as Oro finds out, picking up just 10 arrows in the first chest.
And Joss takes down Armos Knights for his first crystal and Master's. Whoa! Homemade Beer let that bomb get away from him.
Map of Thieves. I have not been counting items. Whoops. And Skullwood's time from the Indium.
Well, we haven't seen the Thieves Town small key yet, so that has to be either in Blind Cell or in the big chest.
Yeah, could just be locking itself. And Oro is going to Potion Glitch, it seems here.
Oro really wants those boots.
Really wants the boots in Pendant Pod. Even though they're bow locked.
So, Mindium is finishing up the front of Skullwoods here, getting a little bit blocked by Gibdos.
The thing is, like, Oro knows too that they cannot finish pod. They do not have a bow, and they know that the bow can't be here.
So Skullwoods and Ambrosia. Oh, that's interesting. Mindium did not open the big chest despite getting the big key. But yeah, Skullwoods and Ambrosia isn't that good a deal because you know one of the items is going to be on Moth. So if you don't have Fire Rod, there's only one item you can get in here.
Yeah, also a nice little glitch there for Oro does get to manage to bypass the mimics in pod.
And Homemade Beer is on blind.
Yes he is. I was absolutely not counting items, and there are a couple of keys in pod. Surprise, surprise.
Or taking a Death Warp, Mindium now checking the big chest on his way out.
And just $20 on wine. That is, however, Homemade Beer's first crystal at 30 minutes.
Mindium approaching the big chest the vanilla way.
I was just going to say, and it's just a map. I was not counting, unfortunately, John Boy. I am not sure if there's any items left in Thieves. We'll find out from Joss, though, because Joss is doing Thieves right now. I know the first chest was the big key.
Well, the only question was, was there a small key in Blind Cell? Because that's the only way there'd be something in the big chest.
There was a small key in Blind Cell, because had a key going to Blind.
I see, okay. I missed that part.
Oro just finding keys, surprise in pod, as there's just a heart piece for Homemade Beer. At least it was a fairly quick dig game. I recently, one of the more recent times I commented ALTTPR, you had to do like 30 digs for the single rupee or something really stupid. No, the single arrow, sorry. 30 digs for the single arrow was kind of dumb.
And Joss is now our first runner on Tempered Sword, having gotten both the sword out of Eastern and the sword out of Thieves.
Right. Oro has found keys and nothing else and is heading for the back. That's a shield on Stumpy. Homemade Beer taking the Smith on a bit of a world tour. This pod is not paying out for Oro at all.
I'm still fascinated to see where those boots wind up being.
There we are.
Okay.
Dark basement.
I hope Oro feels that was worth the effort.
That just feels bad, in my opinion, going that deep into Pendant Pod without a bow, knowing it's bow locked. Alright, Hut Cave time has, let's see, oh, there's a Fire Rod for starters. Heart piece, heart piece, heart piece, and 10 arrows.
Fire Rod's good. I'd give it 4 out of 10.
Yeah, that's good. The rest of it's just meh. Not nearly as useful as the other 5 item locations we've had. Mini Moldorm Cave, the well, and the... Oh! You've got to be kidding me. That's a vanilla hammer.
Oh! But do you really want to beat Helmasaur King for a pendant? Even if Helma King has an item.
Oro can't. Doesn't have a bow.
I know. Well, where do you think Oro's heading?
The bow on library? I'm sorry, that's hilarious.
Oh, and while we've been talking, Homemade Beer rescued Jeremiah.
Yep. Which gives just a heart in here. I'm sorry. What do you know? Dipping bowless, bow-locked pendant pod with boots in there, but a library having the bow. Hang out for Aura with a vanilla hammer. My goodness.
Well, at least we're pretty sure all the other runners are gonna go to pod for the boots, and then they just have to stick it out to find the hammer.
I hope so. I mean, it depends, though, because they're, at least for Meyendium and Joss, they will have tempered. Do they want silvers for cannons? A question, though.
So the other thing, though, that makes it tricky is they can't hammer yump because the big key was in Rupee basement. So if you hammer yump, you'd be at the big chest without a key to open it.
Yep. There's a couple things. Also, the fact that Meyendium and Joss might not want to go there because they feel comfortable with tempered silverless cannon. Like, homemade beer might get there looking for bow at some point, the way Oro did, but Meyendium and Joss might not necessarily need a second bow.
You might want it for Vitreous.
You might, but it depends. Like, you're not going to rush pen and pod for it, at least. I don't think. That's the problem there, Drosy, is you don't really want to rush Pendant Pod for that, I don't think.
Oro did.
Oro didn't have a bow. Meyendium and Joss have a bow and tempered. Is the problem here. They have a bow, they have tempered. They don't have a great reason to chase those boots down really fast.
Okay, so meanwhile, Homemade Beer is giving us our first look at the back of Skull Woods.
Yep. I don't think I've ever seen a vanilla hammer before, by the way.
I've seen it once or twice. It's pretty crazy when it happens.
Yeah, especially in Pendant Pod of all places.
Okay, Homemade Beer needs to watch his health there.
Yeah. I think when the first ALTTP races I ever saw had a vanilla cape, and that was I had no idea what that meant at the time because it was my first time seeing LTTPR, but that was funny. Either vanilla cape and or like a French vanilla hookshot in left side swamp or something like that too. That was dumb.
Homemade Beer did have some red goo, and that's fortunate. And down goes Moth, who has
downgrade from vanilla. Joss Bleedin's about to get his fire rod. Meyendium going to be taking down Blind shortly for his second crystal here. And it was also Homemade Beer's second crystal.
And Oro, as a result of a bit of a wild goose chase, sitting on no crystals, but boots and a hammer.
Which is such an interesting situation. Like, Pendant Pod's really not the most appealing place. There's you're in the back of Skull Woods. Okay.
So both items were in the back of Skull Woods, and that's why in Ambrosia you don't want to dip the front necessarily.
Yep. We are racking up an impressive amount of items. Hookshot's really the one thing we need right now, actually. Between the four runners.
Yeah. And maybe Quake for one of the medallion requirements.
Yeah, that's it. We've seen everything else. Yeah.
Yep. Which is impressive.
Courtesy
of the other reason, though,
hilarious pod.
The other reason the runners will go for boots is you never know when GT Big Key's going to be on Torch, and you don't want to take that risk.
It's a tough choice there. That is not the correct one, BC Koenig. You just want to read the top of your screen. The mode's right there. There's a hookshot. Never mind. Fire shot. Speaking of, game.
But Meyer is Quake, so we are not in no mode.
Yep. Thank you for catching that, because I did miss it. So yeah, we're quick from no mode because this seed is a bit funny, but fairly generous overall. Just Dependent Pod is going to screw some people up.
Yeah, if Quake shows up in like the next 2 minutes, then we'll be like, okay, this seed is just too generous.
Yeah.
But was that Joss? Yeah, Joss had the hook shot. Joss did not have the mirror because only Homemade Beer has the mirror, so he'll be able to check Checkerboard Cave at least when he goes to that area.
Yep, Joss will be getting the mirror here in a couple of minutes, though. As Oro finally picks up their first crystal just under 40 minutes. Yeah, you could also just ask us what Ambrosia means. And yeah, Google does actually know what Ambrosia means. Sometimes it's not the most helpful. Where's me? Okay, the Indian going this way to Pod, I guess that works.
There's also a Nightbot command there.
Oh, there is? I do not have it all straight. Thank you. Yeah, I guess, the Indian is gonna go first. Check out Pyramid Legend up here. I was wondering where that was, like Pod, but nope. Pod would have been a somewhat odd choice from the Indian, who does have a bow and from Eastern. And Homemade Beer is actually heading for Pod right now. We'll probably pick up both Boots and Hammer, but I do worry for Joss and Niendium, who made what seemed like a smart choice to stick around Eastern at the time to pick up the French Vanilla Bow and the Sword-off Harmos Knights to go with it.
Well, the funny thing is,
now it might send them away from Pod is the other problem.
If Homemade Beer knew about the French Vanilla Bow, he could simply mirror after Pod and finish Eastern. But no, he'll go get the bow that he knows about.
Yeah, it's the greatest thing. Yeah, the bows are pretty much the story of the seed.
Now, that said, with the boots, fluting back to 5 really isn't much of a pain.
It isn't, but it does still. It's kind of funny as viewers.
Joss is really trying to conserve magic here, so I'm guessing he is, despite having the tempered sword, he is looking to do a fire rod moth fight.
Seems like it. Homemade Beer is finding out he's bow locked in Pod and does keep going. We know this is a great idea, and actually Miendium's going for Pod as well.
I wonder if Joss will do a Death Mountain play now that he has that hook shot.
I could see it. I could flip through a Turbo Rock right now, actually, if I am not failing my math today. Actually, no, can't get in.
As long as it's not Quake.
Oh, wait, no, can't get in. No hammer. I just realized.
Oh, that too.
Yeah, that's just an unfortunate hammer location. Especially for Joss, who doesn't have the greatest reason to dependent Pod for boots. I'm slightly interested that Miendium chose to make the choice it does also, for that matter.
Joss got dead rocked.
Yep, still getting dead rocked. I guess Paradox Cave, though, is pretty check deads for Joss. Oro is going to be picking remaining items in Eastern and being a little sad that they didn't just full clear displays on the first try.
The thing is, the only potential things Josh can find up here are Quake or something leading to Quake, or maybe the fourth sword.
Yeah, that's really it. We've seen everything else.
I mean, we could have something crazy like books up here and Quakes on a tablet.
True, just the money in the first two chests there. Miendium taking a Death Warp.
Of course, if we really want to be evil, No one's checked PED because we don't have book, and there's nothing saying Quake isn't on PED.
Yes, there is that. $300. Red rupee. There's blue mail at least, and hey, Buttersword.
Well, I said the fourth sword could be there.
And you were right. Did we mention this scene as being ridiculously generous? For the most part, it has been, other than that camera is a little bit rude. Just some money on the floating island. And time for the slow walk around the spiral cave.
And Oro is facing Armos knights with silver arrows. What do you know? Don't really need to worry about the quick kill when you've got silvers.
Yep, and there's their tempered. Homemade beer needs to not die as Joss picks up a heart piece off Spiral Cave. And that is Oro's second crystal at 45 minutes. It's incoming for homemade beer, but he still needs to not die in here. Trying to powder the anti-fairy there.
Homemade beer really wants cash, though. I wonder if he's planning on stocking up on blue potions or something.
Possible, but they kind of need to survive here right now. Oh
no! Homemade beer, no!
Oh no! Oh no! I get why they don't have enough health to survive the dark maze, but that is oh no!
Wait, Oro's in pendant ice?
I'm even more confused by this.
I mean, Kern taught me always be clearing. If you have a crystal dungeon you can do that crystal dungeon.
Yeah, and Skull Woods for one. Yeah.
Oh, and Myrtle Rock is Ether.
Skull Woods, I think Hera's clearable.
Swamp? No, Oro doesn't have the mirror yet because Oro hasn't been to Skullwoods.
No. You feel behind, but you still don't go pendant ice in the situation Oro's in, I'm pretty sure. Homemade beer picking up his hook shot. It's also they, them, by the way, for Oro. It's he, him for the others. For pronouns. Hey, red mail and hookshot came for Joss.
So both of our males are on Death Mountain.
Yep, nothing in Checkerboard Cave. And the Endium is going to full clear pod. Okay. Having come in with the bow from Eastern. Nothing in Icebreaker chest for Oro. And there's a heart piece.
Oh, wow. So this could be interesting if, Quake's on Helma King.
It could. It would be interesting if Quake's in ice for Oro, though I still don't understand this play at all. Pod made sense. This doesn't.
I mean, the thing about Quake is it's going to be our equivalent of the Ice Rod Hunt. It can be literally anywhere except in Mire or GT.
Yeah. Joss, in the meantime, is doing Hera, which makes complete and total sense. Oro is still hunting for the second item in Ice Palace. First item was a heart piece in the H room. Honestly, I can see why Miendium going for Helma just to clear it out for that item. Still missing. Miendium is missing quite a few items right now. Has no hookshot, has no mirror, has no quake. I get this play, honestly, from Miendium. I don't get Oro's play.
Also, Miendium was kind of already by Pod. I mean, I think he left his portal there, right?
Yeah. I think so. Alright, yeah, Hera, there's a small key. There are 2 items in Hera, and there's the compass. That's an item in the basement.
Now, wouldn't it have been nice?
Although I can't remember, I actually don't remember the map for what was in the other chest on the first floor of Hera. Because I forgot. Oops.
Map was vanilla, and the big key was in front. We don't know what's in the...
Okay, so basement's an item for sure, because I forgot if we'd seen the map yet. This compass was a big chest.
Well, what was the small chest?
Actually, it might just be brain farting.
Oh, no, the small chest was a small key. The compass chest was a small key, so yeah. Moldorm has 1 item, and the other's in coffee break room.
Yep. I completely missed what was on Helma from Yandium.
Well, there's a book on Moldorm.
That's a funny spot for book. Bombs and Helma, thank you.
Yeah, our tracker Artarl has been very on top of things, so I'm just looking and, okay, nothing new on Mindium's tracker, so I'll just trust that it wasn't anything useful.
Yep, also, a Cold Scare had 10 arrows to wrap up in a completely useless Ice Palace for Port Oro. And Doss is going to go take a coffee break. Super Bunny Cave had nothing for Homemade Beer, who is now going to go do Hugshot Cave. And Kingston time for Oro.
Oh, have we seen this yet?
I don't believe so. Herpes, though, just...
And probably Bonkrock's next, right?
I'd expect so, yeah. This will be the Ether tablet homemade. Actually, no, Hera tablet. Right, Hera, then it will be Ether tablet, because that's a rather convenient book, actually, for that purpose. Just $20 in the basement. And, oh, Oro checking Lumberjack now. Okay, that's just somebody. And there's the Bloomerang.
Yay!
We're getting close to tracker percent at the rate we're going, actually. Still missing the bug net, the blue cane, the cape, and the shovel for tracker percent. Plus a shield, and... So thankfully we will not get true tracker percent because it's not an accuracy.
And there's still a lot we haven't seen.
No, we haven't seen Desert, we haven't seen Swamp, Mire, or Kiar.
Is this our first look at Checkerboard?
I know we did see this earlier from Homemade Beer, I think? Junk.
Yeah. Well, Homemade Beer's the only other one with a mirror, so if we saw it, it had to have been from Homemade Beer.
Fair enough. But yeah, it was Homemade Beer checking to me, John. Homemade Beer, unfortunately, is going to be even more screwed over by the hammer than Oro is in all likelihood, having understandably mirrored out of pod after picking up the boots due to extremely low health. It just means he's probably last locationing his vanilla hammer. As
Mindium. Yup.
Desert is not boots locked today. Also, why is Jocelyn Penn in Desert?
Because it's there. Like George Mallory's famous quote about why do people climb Everest.
Hey FaZe, actually no, this is not a star special, this is a Professor Renderer special, and Professor's seeds are as bad as mine are. For reference to everyone here, pretty much, who isn't particularly familiar with the Ocarina of Time randomizer community, I am infamous for rolling some truly god-awful seeds. Professor tends to be just as bad.
I mean, technically it was Sahasrabot that rolled the seed.
I mean, you could make the same argument of me in most of my seeds, but... So if you're trying to get the glitch where you stand on top of the raised tile things, but not getting it. Compass for Joss, that's vanilla. And Oro's heading toward Mandala.
Mindiam will be the first of our runners up here with the hammer, so I would expect him to do Turtle Rock. The only catch is he has no mirrors, so he'll be skipping Mimic Cave.
Yep. Still, I think I would put him and Oro probably in lead items-wise. Homemade Beer's going last location. That hammer and Joss might as well at this point.
I mean, it's an unpleasant hammer location.
It is. Homemade Beer's just going to last location at Peerage, and it's not exactly Joss's first idea to go. I fully expect the last location for Homemade Beer, likely last location for Joss. At least it is the hammer, which a lot of items you're going to get bottleneck there sooner rather than later, but it's still not great. Quake on Ted. Yeah, FaZe, we already have a vanilla hammer in Pendant Pod. The only saving grace being that boots are hinted in there. And even then, Joss has stuck around Eastern for a French vanilla bone, so it doesn't have a great reason to go there.
So without the mirror, Mindiam isn't going to have the best Death Mountain routing. I'm guessing he'll do Hera now. He just wants to see what's on Floating Island, even though without a mirror he wouldn't be able to get it.
Well, good info, might as well.
He'll probably orphan Spiral Cave, if I had to guess.
Likely, Joss finishing off Landmo and picking up a green pendant, and that was it, really, I think, in the desert.
Well,
and Homemade Beer is going to face all of it, seeing all the items in Easter.
I was hoping for Joss, between that green pendant and knowledge of where the boots are, that would, maybe bring him towards the pod area, but apparently not.
He does have other things to do, which is understandable. This is currently a Skullwoods play. Luckily, or actually not quite yet. Really, Oro and Neandium are fairly well set up for the seed, I'd say. Joss and Homemade Beer have a hammer problem.
Oro is the only one of our runners with swamp access.
So I do expect Neandium will pick up that mirror soon enough, because he's going to go to Skullwoods.
I would think so. I'm a little bit surprised that he climbed Death Mountain before going to Skullwoods.
Perhaps chasing item density.
But Skullwoods is close, and it has a crystal.
I mean, Hera is a crystal. Also, it's difficult to say there. 845 and purple just actually for Joss. It's Neandium takes a fall from Choldor. 845 has a rather convenient shovel.
I think I know what Joss's next check's gonna be.
I think so too. That's also quite funny. Nothing in the first chest of Swamp for Oro. At least they've stopped doing pendant dungeons. And the Indian's looking at this book. Double spots, just $20.
Now, Mindium could save time by skipping Hera Basement. We'll see if he does, though.
No.
Nope.
Gold sword for homemade beer. Wow, I sounded terrible there for a second as I took a quick drink. And hey, bugnet on the purple chest. We are really seeing most everything. Still missing a couple bottles of Ambrosia and the Quake as well, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say, no invincibility items so far.
Nope, although we're gonna do a combo step here. And that has just a heart container. Swamp has turned up absolutely nothing so far for Oro, who is, as usual, skipping the left side swamp and heading for the back. Nice sniper down. Picking up some bugs and some arrows. Yeah, GT is going to be empty today, it seems. There's the big key. Lovely spot. And, happy 1 hour, everyone. $20 inside.
1 hour and still no trace of Quake Medallion.
Nope, and it could be everywhere that's not Meyer. It is invincibility item. I believe it is either, blue cape and half magic, or just cape, if I remember correctly.
Cape and half magic, or just
cape
blue
and
cane.
half magic. Got it backwards.
Or bottle can replace half magic because, hey, if you have a green goo.
Yeah, that would work too. Also might as well plug here, since, as we see, Justin Bombs and Argus. May as well shoutouts to our forerunners here, Homemade Beer, Joss Bleeded, Meandium, and Oro, as well as to my co-commentator Drosy, and our tracker, our Carol, who was doing quad tracking today, so shoutouts very much to them. This is TR time now for Meandium.
Okay, Meandium is going to give us our first look at Turtle Rock here.
Yep.
And I wonder if Joss is slowly making his way over to Pod.
I hope so. I mean, it is a pretty check-in location, and it's a better play for Joss than it is for poor Homemade Beer, who is going to a location that Hammer having unfortunately run out of health before he could get it. Hammer is vanilla, Slavey Knight intended Pod. Now, the only saving grace this scene is that boots were hidden there.
And Oro is now climbing Death Mountain, those being Oro's only accessible crystal dungeons now.
Much, I mean, the odds are very good that Quake is just sitting in Purple Rock at this point.
Or Mimic Cave, which would be pretty bad for Meandium.
It would. I think Mimic Cave Quake would probably be even more unfortunate for Meandium than the Hammer currently is for Homemade Beer. And the Hammer is really unfortunate for Homemade Beer. For those who weren't here at the time, about half an hour ago or so, Homemade Beer went to Pod, cleared out a bunch of the place, got boots, but was on a quarter of a heart at that time, and decided in a rather sensible way that there was no way he was going to survive the Dark Maze on a quarter heart. Unfortunately, that meant he missed his vanilla hammer. You need to equip the book to read a tablet.
Well, we're not hurting for health this seed.
Yeah, for the most part, other than Homemade Beer's hammers, yeah.
Oh, I just meant strictly health, I mean.
Strictly health, yeah, we're fine. Just
all the heart containers, and Oro's gonna be on red mail soon. All the other runners have it.
Yep.
Okay, so me and DM over onto the
Firelock
side of Turtle Rock. By the way, did Oro check left side swamp? I'm assuming no.
No, they did not. Went straight for the back, found the big key there, and just left. Argus
I wasn't counting items.
Yeah, Argus had like bombs or some such junk. I don't remember what else was there.
So let's see what homemade beer decides to do back here.
We'll hopefully have some Sally in his pad.
Yes, pet is still in play until someone actually goes and checks it.
Yep, or until we find Quake. Whichever comes first. Which does, yeah, because a lot of people didn't, because no one had book when going to beat Mothula so far, and so couldn't exactly mirror to check pad, even though mirror was in the back of Skullwoods.
But me and DM will
be able to check that. They just haven't gotten there yet. Choosing to do Turtle Rock and then Skullwoods, which is good for check density, at least when you're hunting for items. Because Manium's still missing, also still missing the mirror to note. And then desert for homemade beer. Unfortunate, but also understandable. There's the final shield. And
yay! I don't think our runners are going to pick Mirror Shield off of Spec Rock, I'll tell you that much.
I don't think so either. Joss, by the way, woohoo, is going hard. A little later than the others, but this wouldn't be hurting too much for it. As long as they don't bail after Boots, that is. If he bails after Boots, he's as screwed as homemade beer is. And I doubt you bail after Boots in those situations. Turtle Rock Big Chest is just a small key.
Which, since we're not in go mode and therefore had to check the lava chest, we do kind of need that small key. There we go. So, Oro will be the first of our runners in go mode. Though Mindiam will hit go mode in the natural course of things when he does Skull Woods after this. I just hope Mindiam goes straight to Skull Woods after this. He has no reason to do anything else.
I stepped away for a second, and of course the Mindiam finds Quake in Turtle Rock. Yawned.
Yeah, it was in Crystal Room.
Lovely. Yeah, so that is go mode for him. Mindiam will be in go mode since we know that their mirror is just on the way. And Oro will be in actual go mode very shortly.
Well, I was just saying that I sure hope Mindiam goes to Skull Woods as his next play after this.
I mean, where else would he go?
I don't know. Could always dive pendant ice. It's not like we didn't see Oro do that.
I don't think so. I'm still confused by that, by the way. I still do not understand why Oro decided to do pendant ice earlier. Alright, boots for Joss. Safely sticking around and has enough health to not feel like poor Homemade Beer did, because Homemade Beer is going to the last location, that hammer. Probably going pendant ice next after this is my guess. Is it a great location? No, but, I mean, where else do you go? Yeah, this is pendant ice for poor Homemade Beer.
And Joss is gonna get his hammer very shortly.
Yeah.
And then,
But
unfortunately,
go mode for all intents and purposes, since there's no way to miss your Quake and Rock today.
yeah, I was just gonna say that unfortunately, Joss is gonna need to climb Death Mountain 3 times now because he'll have to go up there again to get Quake once he has the hammer, and then he'll have to go down to do Meyer and then go back up for GT.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but at least he's not poor Homemade Beer. Who has been doing alright, who has been doing pretty decently with the seed, I will say. It's just unfortunate how the odds played out for him today.
Yeah, so the other thing is Oro will not need to do Herod Basement, which all of our other runners did because they weren't in Go mode at the time.
Correct.
And Mindium is doing Spike Cave, which is going to be useless, but
Understand.
he doesn't know that. Hey, maybe it'll be a vanilla cane of Burna.
That would be funny.
He does know this is out of logic, right? I mean, you can cheese it with red goo.
Yeah. I mean, it's just getting it done while you're here, pretty much. And it's not a vanilla cane of Burna, just some bombs. Hey, some people just love doing Icebreaker lull phase. I mean, from Homemade Beer's perspective, it makes sense. Joss thankfully did not decide to be Helmasaur, failed, and is off to Swamp. I mean, this seed is at least a double dip of Death Mountain, because you have to go to Turtle Rock for Quake, and then come back down for Meyer, and then go back up for GT. There's no avoiding that today, and a lot of people will triple dip the mountain. Oh, hi Days Cloud. Saying in chat, dang, didn't you know you were doing this on Dressier? I might have signed up. Didn't know you yet, Alright, that is Prenix down 4. Go in there. Fifth crystal at an hour 12. Meandium, as long as they don't leave behind their mirrors, should be fine. Aw, thanks, Days Cloud. Actually, Oro, okay, he's just gonna leave Hera behind and go to do that when they do GT. That makes sense.
Yeah, once you have,
left it behind.
yeah, once you know you have Go mode Harry, there's no reason to not stack it with GT.
Yeah.
I would give Oro a very slight lead over Mindium, maybe a minute or two.
Yeah, probably. Not too much, though, as Homemade Beer does all that he can in Ice Palace. And let's see where he goes next. He has to be running out of places at this point. Perhaps was thinking about Swamp there, but then realized he can't really do anything in it without a hammer. Oh no, is this a Thieves Town big chest?
Oh shoot, I totally forgot that Mindium has not done Swamp, so Mindium is a whole dungeon behind Oro, not just a minute or 2. Oh,
actually, that's true, I forgot as well.
Yeah, once you know you have Go mode Harry, there's no reason to not stack it with GT.
Yeah, once you know you have Go mode Harry, there's no reason to not stack it with GT. Yeah. Alright, that is Prenix down 4. Go in there. Fifth crystal at an hour 12. Meandium, as long as they don't leave behind their mirrors, should be fine. Alright, that is Prenix down 4. is not going to skip the mirror, though, at least, and Swamp will be pretty quick in go mode.
Go mode Swamp's what, like 3-4 minutes?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, Myra and Swamp versus Myra and Hera, it's, plus a bit of a delay for, because Medium's just now getting mirror. Yeah, Oro's definitely ahead, but GT, this is still not over for either.
Mindium slowly, after a moment's hesitation, realizing he's in go mode.
Yep. Going to flip off to Meyer now.
It is unfortunate because Mindium could have saved quite a bit of time if he had done Skull Woods before going up Death Mountain, because if you have the mirror, there's no reason not to do Turtle Rock before Hera, and then he'd be in go mode out of Turtle Rock like Oro.
Yep. Alright, Homemade Beer picking up half magic off Catfish now. I'd honestly forgotten about that. And this Vicky in Myers actually being a bit trolly. Yeah, it's still over between these two, though. There's still execution to be had. GT routing could make the difference.
Did Oro do the cutscene?
What?
Did Oro do the cutscene? Oh, no. Clearly Oro did not do the cutscene because that's where the big key must be.
Yeah.
Mindium could save a little bit of time here if he decides to just bite the bullet and do the cutscene.
Yep. Homemade Beer is still absolutely avoiding his vanilla hammer. But I think is gradually, bit by bit, running out of checks. And will have to bite the bullet and go back to the pendant pod he left behind due to a lack of health. Half an hour ago at this point. Yeah. Me and him doing cutscene chest now as it's Argus for Joss. Homemade Beer continues to do everything that's not pod. Actually, Anim's not doing cutscene chest just yet, but will also last location it.
Yeah, so that's Joss's 5th crystal, and Mindium did not want to do cutscene either, unfortunately. I mean, most days that's a fortunate decision, but today, not so much.
Yeah, it's quite literally vanilla days, Cloud. The most unfortunate thing about the whole mess is, the bows have been really funny to see. There was a bow in the library. Uncle will give you a hint that boots were in pod. Both Mindium and Joss Bleedin stuck around in Eastern after pretty much last location bits, to discover that there was a bow in, there's word in Eastern along with the mitts. Homemade Beer and Oro both found out did bowless pod. Pod was bow locked and found boots in the dark basement. And everyone else has got hammered after boots. Homemade Beer, unfortunately, was on a quarter of a heart when he got boots. Tried to powder a Nantucket Fairy, failed, and decided to call it quits. He hasn't gone back to Pendant Pod for his vanilla hammer since.
I mean, he could have gone back after that anti-fairy that ran away.
I just don't think he would have survived the maze.
No, I mean, while he was in Rupee Basement, he failed at powdering the anti-fairy, but I don't think he was out of magic. If he had really wanted health, he could have made another attempt at powdering that anti-fairy.
And if his sense screwed him over majorly. Yeah, it's a rough day for poor Homemade Beer, who has actually done fairly fine with the seed otherwise, and honestly, all his plays have made sense. Just running on an Alton pod. Rando, I suppose, unfortunately.
Yep.
Can't ding him as a runner overall, just bad luck today. Oro now climbing the mountain again is going to be finished, is going to be off to their last dungeon of Terror here shortly. Oro's really quite quick in go mode, so we'll be a good ways ahead of the NDM going into GT. I assume you're talking about flight? Okay, I was just gonna say, Sleepy Night, what?
Sounds like someone's booking some travel.
That's what I was trying to say, yep.
I fly American myself, but... Or doing Harapot, which I don't think we saw any of our other runners do.
No, because they were also looking for items at that time, and poor Homemade Beer is finally getting his vanilla hammer. 35 minutes or so after he could have gotten it.
And he's still now gonna need to go up Death Mountain and get that Quake Medallion out of Turtle Rock.
Yep, an hour 21 minutes in, poor Homemade Beer finally went back. Literal last location, I'm pretty sure.
And Oro's picking up his 7th crystal, which means we have a game we like to play informally, because there are runners off stream. But guess a number, integer, from 1 to 22. As to what chest Oro will find the Ganon's Tower big key in the basement of Ganon's Tower. What do you think, Star?
I'm gonna go with 17, just a random number off the top of my head. Millennium is pretty much a full swap behind Oro here. Full go swap, but still. You're good, we do not have a formal guessing game at our tarot since this is a daily, and people could know the GT key location from off stream.
Yes, we have, I believe, 13 runners total, and you're only seeing 4 of them, so there are a lot of people playing this.
12 total, 1 forfeit. There are still 7 others going off restream. Thanks for putting in the manual, just saying stop. Also, Artero. Shout out to Artero, our hardworking tracker, who's tracking all 4 people on restream. Not an easy job to do, and much appreciated. Guess I may as well just put in the commands to shout out our runners and my our tracker Artero and my co-commentator Jossie. Our runners being Homemade Beer, Joss Bleedin, the NDM, and Oro. Looks like Dark Magician strats here from Oro today.
And so that's 7 checks in.
Yep, going to leave tile room for last as per the usual. No one wants to do tile room. Thank you for the sub, Sleepy Night as well.
Okay, so 8's nothing, 9's nothing, 10's nothing, 11's nothing.
Yep, back to the left.
But Oro's sure rich now.
Yes, they are. Joss Bleedin now, and Turtle Rock will be hitting go mode shortly. Homemade Beer in the swamp. Yes, it's medium.
And Minion is about to pick up his 7th crystal.
Yep. Going full left could save him time on Oro.
Probably not enough to catch him up, but still.
Yeah. Joss's good Turtle Rock will be hitting Goma very shortly with that Quake. Unfortunately, Vanilla Big Key in Meyer being on the cutscene chest is just kind of rude.
That Lagamarang sometimes just does its own thing.
Yeah, it does. Me and him going for a bit of potion shopping. 12, 13, 14, I think it's 15, all junk.
No, was doing that was 14 through 17 actually.
Oh, wait, no, can't count. 14 through 17, miscounted somewhere. So my bet is dead. Burner showed up. That's about it.
We got the all-important compass.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Ora, you could have just powdered Bob. What? Oh, where? Chat's saying Cane of Burna just showed up. Where was that?
I assume GT. I don't think we've seen anything else to do from anyone. There it is. Chest 20 was the big key. Which means Scarlet Sisters with a guess of 22 was closest. Yep, window room, which chat confirms.
So Yandium now entering GT as Oro begins the climb, and Joss Bleeden gets his Gomo just after 127.
Yep. My beer entering Turtle Rock now is most of a Turtle Rock behind Joss at this point, pretty much. Yeah, Oro definitely does not need the Cane of Burna. Has 14 hearts, red mail, silvers, gold sword, and yep.
Oh, Mindium gets wall mastered.
Ooh.
And that'll actually save him time because he's given up on right and is going left.
Hey, that works.
Okay, or just slashing away with the butter sword there on Landmo's. Only takes 2 butter sword hits to take down a Landmo.
Yep.
Wonder why Mindium used a bomb there rather than the more standard cane or boomerang. So, Joss getting his 6th crystal, he'll have to go down to Meyer and then climb the mountain again.
Oh, actually, it was Fire Snake for moves that had the Burna, because Medium just picked it up. It's advanced.
Just having enough.
It was Random Room, but I guess that works.
Or had just enough magic to get through that second torch room after some misses. Now, of course, there's the magic refill here.
No problem, chat. And that's Moldorm down for Oro. Happy 1 hour 30, everyone.
Ooh. Oro having some agonometry problems. I'm not sure if that counted as a double.
I might have been a single there. That's a 0. Oh, there's a single, though. Yeah, just a single there. That's another single.
So either 1 or 2 more.
Well, that's 1 more, apparently.
Okay, so the double did count as a double.
And yeah, that single takes down Ganon. Aghanim, sorry. Words. And,
Ganon's alter ego, the one he complains about us defeating.
Yeah. Pretty much a GT climb separates me and DM from Oro. I mean, you haven't started climbing as Oro finished off Aghanim. Now I can words.
And, Buttersword, Silver's, Red Mail. I think this is going to be a kind of challenging fight for Oro, don't you?
Just a bit. Just a little bit. Also 14 hearts. Homemade beer is sitting at 15 and Joss is actually on 17 hearts. The NDM the lowest at 13. Oh no, silver is my one weakness.
Doesn't get the torch glitch. Not that it's a huge deal with half magic.
Yep. Not almost getting a triple there.
And we have bacon.
East Oro just needs to finish across the hardest one by 3 bridge in Hyrule. And it's going to finish first on restream, second overall, with a time of 1:32.54. GG's also put a cool Papa Bell who finished first, 1:31.48.
But yeah, kind of tough seed, mostly due to that Quake location, which is why we didn't see any sub-130s here.
Yeah, Quake sucked. Hammer probably tripped up some people.
The joke about Ambrosia seeds is they're always either 110 or 150.
So smack dab in the middle.
Because usually either, they're just super nice or there are 1 or 2 horrible, horrible items. And as it turned out, Quake was only moderately horrible, so we wound up in the middle.
Yep. I once commented, one of the more recent, last time I commented Ambrosia for ALTTPR, it was a, 30-minute no mode or something equally stupid for restream. I think this seed start Justin actually gave you all the items, not everything but one. Then I don't think it was quite a last location the way the bits were.
Oh, and Mindiam only had one key and had to beat the mini Helma for that key drop.
Hey CPB, GG's. No one rushed Eastern today. A couple did Saha's Hut, but everyone pretty much last location to place. 2 stuck around for the whole place. The other 2 bailed after bits.
Was that your secret to winning today, that you just rushed Eastern at the beginning?
I could see that, honestly. I also left out.
Apparently not. No, it kind of paid off for the people who didn't rush Eastern because because they went to pod for the boots and got the hammer in the process, and they wound up with the hammer faster.
Okay, apparently Oro didn't get the invite from the bot, so I guess I'll invite them anyway.
Was Oro messaging in, like, somewhere?
I don't even know. I sent it to the guardian lead anyway, so they'll be joining us once they see that.
Okay. But I guess that means we need to remember to invite all the runners at the appropriate times.
Yeah, if the bot's being cranky. And hey, Oro, GG's.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for the GG's.
You really wanted to show us Ice Palace, didn't you?
I thought the chat was being really well behaved today, so they deserve to see an icebreaker. That's all.
Oh, I see.
There was no mistracking at all. It was just, I was thinking in chat.
Certainly.
But we also have Mindiam moving up to phase 3 here on Ganon, so maybe we'll be able to bring him in, and the two of you can compare notes because you took very different approaches to this seed.
Yes. Also, just some couch cash on the pad, and GG's to Vix Rider finishing third, 136.55. And Joss is heading for GT now.
But yeah, you basically lucked out with the hammer because that validated your decision to get the boots. So what did you think of that hammer location?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was practically ready to jump up for joy when I found the hammer, because it just made everything in my route just so straightforward and worked so well.
Yeah, also here GG's to me and DM about to finish up. As Joss enters GT, and homemade beer is going for the cutscene chest. And Random gets sniped by the Daddy Gavers, 4th and 5th, 137.30 and 137.33. GG's. Yeah, how about that hammer?
That was really make or break for the seed.
Yeah, it was. So we had an interesting divergence on Restream. So all 4 runners, more or less last location Eastern, not having a bow. Don't really want to go there without having access to that last item.
Especially when you've seen a bow and you know where the boots are, it's like you don't want to go into the Eastern at all.
Oh, absolutely. So you and homemade beer both failed after minutes. Indium and Joss Bleeds stuck around and proceeded to pick up both sword and the parchment bone. That made me a little worried, actually, for you and homemade beer, depending on where those boots were in pod. And then it just turned out vanilla hammer.
Yeah, it was kind of nice knowing that when pod was bowlock, that everything in there was bowlock. So what I saw in the library was actually the silvers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking, oh, this actually works out really well, because I can then go and do Eastern out of logic and get that done real quick. But,
Yeah,
turns out anyone could have done that. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So did those that went straight to, that continued in Eastern, did they also go straight to pod?
Well, they can ask Mandium here, who just joined us. GG's.
Good game, everybody. I took my bow in Eastern and then had my Dark World access. I went over, kind of dipped into the front of Skull Woods, found a whole lot of nothing, cleared out Thieves Town, and I just made the normal Dark World loop over to pod and then did pod once I was kind of in the vicinity.
So I guess my big question for you is, you decided to do Death Mountain before going to Skull Woods. Can you talk us through that?
Well, I figured once I had, the glove, the hook, the hammer, whatnot to get me around the place, it was a whole lot of checks. I just didn't have the mirror, so I was going to have to do Light World side first and then kind of loop back through on the Dark World end of it. All of that versus the 2 checks in Skull Woods that I wasn't hugely concerned about yet. The mirror would have been convenient to have, but I don't really feel terrible about not having it. It's 30, 45 seconds slower in the Dark World there when you've got the boots.
I mean, the big thing is it would have saved you Hera Basement because you would have been in go mode at that point.
Well, granted.
But yeah, other than that, it was just the kind of going back and forth rather than being able to do everything simply in order. So, not a huge thing. I also noticed that neither of you particularly likes the vanilla big key chest and mire. I can't blame you for that, but...
Well, with a mild handle on the key logic, knowing that if you get the small key in that top firelocked chest, the big key has to be down there. So in cases where I don't get a small key in that top chest, I'll go search the other spots first because they're faster and the big key may well be there. If I know where the big key is guaranteed to be, I'll just go fetch it.
Sense.
Yeah, I'm fine with always last locationing that, unless it has to be there.
Yeah, and at least you had boots. You weren't, taking a long walk.
When I walked into pod, I thought, this is going to be terrible with no hammer if the boots are on the helm is working. And
it's
then
good
instead,
it's good that you noted that, because I wasn't even thinking about the fact that bosses have an item until while Argus was exploding.
If I had paid more attention to that, and it had come to mind a couple of times, if I had realized early on that, both items were going to have to be in the back of Skull once I hadn't, found anything in the front, maybe that would have impelled me towards going to Skull Woods a little earlier. Whatever.
Yeah, we were discussing that because front of Skull Woods is not nearly as good a play in Ambrosia when you know that at least one of the items has to be in the back.
Yep.
And that's one of those things where normally I'm kind of 50-50 on dipping it versus not to begin with, but when what you're missing is the hammer and you're going down to Crystal Thieves Town next, I feel like it's a little more indicated of a play because, big town, big chest Thieves Town, you don't want to go back, but sometimes you gotta. This time we didn't play. Small key and you say, oh no, and then you get the last item off the boss and say, oh yes.
Oh, and the other thing, Mindium, was you happen to be fortunate to get wall mastered on the right side of GT Basement.
Yeah, that convenient wall master saved me a bit of time.
Yeah, so I've been breaking in a new controller over the past couple of days, and it is significantly more sensitive to some inputs than my several years old Xbox 360 controller is. So sometimes I get strange, phantom left or down or right inputs that I'm not really meaning to input, but the controller notices them. And so instead of dashing off towards the right side of that room so that I could continue on my way, I dashed down and bonked at wall mastered. Now, I'll say right now, I cannot blame it on the controller when I lost my bomb in the escape sequence. That was all me. I just walked right in.
Oh, I had totally forgotten about that.
Yeah, we've had a
all on that one. That was all me.
Yeah,
you got a bomb during escape?
Yeah, he and Homemade Beer were the only two to pick up bombs out of the escape.
How?
The soldiers and the snakes were in the low value price pool, which has a single heart, a small magic, a single ruby, a bomb, maybe 5 sticks. I forget what all's in it, but bomb is included.
Oh, the first thing I got to drop from a guard was a heart, and then the second thing was small magic. And I thought that was the one that didn't have it. I thought it was Heart Fairy that had it.
Heart Fairy has an 8 bomb pack. The small value has heart, small magic, single bomb, so forth.
Well, that was my other mistake.
Or seeing your file name there. Is your mom watching?
No, she's not, but I'm thinking about her.
Oh, well, that's nice.
That is 158 is not bad of a collection rate.
Yeah, I'm guessing Mindiam will be low 160s then with like Hair Basement. No, except that Oro did Ice
159.
Palace.
Yes, Ice Palace. Ice Palace under Inside GT and some checks.
Yeah, and then there's poor Homemade Beer who went into Ice Palace without the hammer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, about 4 Homemade Beers. So, Miendium, you and Homemade Beer both went pot at about the same time. I think he might have been slightly ahead of you. It doesn't make, but pretty much the same time, you guys both go pod. Both get the boots. Unfortunately, Homemade Beer is like on a quarter heart when he picks up boots. Fails to counter an anti-fairy and mirrors out.
Yeah, that's
It took him another half hour to get his hammer.
Oh God, Mindiam, I just realized what your file name is. Bit of a fan of the Barber of Seville, are we?
Are you an opera singer?
Not so much.
Yeah, that was poor Homemade Beer's fate today, was running out of health in pod, deciding to mirror out after failing to powder an anti-fairy, and last location hammer.
For those who missed the sprite and thus the reference, it is the Figaro Merchant from Final Fantasy VI that I was running today.
Yeah, we did have some
South Figaro, please.
I'm going to shout out Darity Fields, finishing 6th, 146.35. Quite a gap there between 5th and 6th, actually.
Yeah, and Joss is not going to be too far behind as he now drops into Ganon.
Something
Not
about
being
the
betrayed by the
Center
duck.
and the duck.
Oh, nice little fire bat skip by him on the outgoing phase. I don't think it was at all intentional.
And Homemade Beer should still get a sub 2 pretty easily for all that.
Will definitely be sub 2 as he takes down Lambos here at an hour 48. Although,
Okay,
at
there's
least
our-
with last location in Camera, there's only so many places you can go because it locks so many things. So he did eventually pick up at an hour 20 like an hour 20, yeah. It was when poor Homemade Beer finally picked up that hammer. What's a funny like though? I started laughing seeing it.
And get your GGs in for Joss Bleeden, who got the torch glitch. Not that it mattered.
And finished here in 7th, 148.44. GG's also to Taco finishing 8th, 149.02. Oh, you found Cape CPB? Where was that? About the one thing we didn't see on Restream besides, I think, the final bottles.
GG, Joss.
And hey, Joss, GG's.
Thanks. GG's, everybody.
So, how about that hammer?
Yeah, that was a thing. That was totally a thing.
Yeah, I was there wondering what the route was going to be up to Catfish, and then what? And then the hammer popped out, and everything changed, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Oh, hit Pyramid Fairy Head Cave, apparently.
I just wish I had remembered where the boots were. I totally, like, as soon as I read the hint, I completely forgot it.
Rips.
Oh, so how did you wind up in pod then?
Well,
yeah.
I think I had done everything except pod at that point.
Huh.
But I did Desert Palace. Yeah.
Okay, we were wondering why you dipped that.
Yeah, that would explain it.
Yep, no, like a pretty person's name at a party. It just in one ear and then right out the other.
At least you didn't leave your hammer behind.
I was starting to wonder if Desert was going to be the answer when I got the book, and I was still not finding the mirror anywhere.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I was thinking about doing Mire first and then Skullwoods, thinking, Skullwoods is the easier one. I'll walk out of there with everything in inventory, and instead, let's just do it first on Lark.
And I paid out with the mirror.
And then when I found the bow in Eastern, I thought, oh, okay, maybe the boots are just a decoy, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so on Restream, out on Restream, let's see. So yeah, you and Neandium were the two. Weren't you two the ones who stuck around Eastern? I know Oro skipped bow at first trip to Eastern.
I fulfilled Eastern first time in.
Yeah, me too.
I might have just lost track. I know we had a split on Restream between who's the full credit Eastern first trip and who went back afterwards for that bow.
And Homemade Beer's on phase 3 now, so hopefully he will be joining us shortly.
Hope so as well.
I didn't remember quite that many Ganon warps.
Quite a few Ganon warps. I've had more. I recall specifically a couple of weeks ago where I said, come on, Ganon, please stop. You're killing me here. This was not quite that level, but yeah, he was a little warpy today.
Yeah.
Ganon does get away from Homemade Beer there.
That's unfortunate.
But he did get the torch glitch, and with that time it actually helps.
Half Magic was Catfish. Vix Rider, GG's also. And GG's here to Homemade Beer, who is finishing up. Going to take 4th on Restream, 9th overall, with a time of 1:52:35. GG's.
I'm definitely interested to see how close their collection rates wind up being.
Yep.
Do we think Homemade Beer's getting an invite, or should I send him one?
I'm not sure, because I know Oro had invite issues. Thanks, bot.
Yeah, but Joss, it seemed like you got one right away.
Yeah, within a couple seconds.
Oh, Homemade's in the waiting room, so I guess we'll bring him up.
Yep, might as well. Hello.
Hi.
GG's.
GG's. That was fun. Very last location hammer there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah. I kind of knew, like, I got hit a lot, and I was like, well, if I don't want to die in the dark room, but I came to pod to get the boots. I got the boots, and I figured, okay, I'll go look for other stuff. Then didn't find anything, so I decided to commit to the skip I made by leaving, and there you have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice seed as long as you hang around and actually clear out pod.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just ran out of health there.
Yeah, that was the thing, because I figured I could go in there and try and be safe and like bombos the rhinos or something, but then I was like, well, I only wanted boots. And then I was surprised to see boots were bow locked, and that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like, I must have skipped something earlier.
Yeah. Eastern?
Yeah. So, about that Easter.
Well, I figured I knew where the bow was. I was going to come back later when I got boots. Maybe I would have mirror, then I could do Eastern with pod. That was the idea anyway.
So it was like, Titan's Mitts, okay, I have Dark World access, let's go with it.
Yeah, Dark World, I just opened up, 100 checks. I could go get one more check in Eastern guaranteed, or do 100 checks in Dark World. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we had to split on restream between those who stuck around and those who left.
What's that?
Yeah, we had a bit of a split on restream. You and I think Oro were the two who skipped who fell out of Eastern, and then me and Diem and Jostick stuck around.
Interesting.
I mean, skipping you did at least send you to pod faster.
The what now?
No, skipping, not finishing off Eastern first trip did send you to pod faster, looking for those boots potentially at least.
Yeah, kind of actually. I think though, well, maybe because I think I would have done North Dark World instead of South if I had a bow when I got into Dark World. So I probably actually would have done a lot. I would have had a better route if I had done that actually. I don't know. Yeah, it's just a bad choice, bad luck, and then
that was really unfortunate.
Committing to it.
Vanilla Hammer and Pendant Pod of all places.
Yeah, so that was fun.
I just burst out laughing seeing it.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people just full cleared pod first go, and then were well on their way to just do everything else. Because if I had a really good routing without the hammer. Like I was on had one trip to East and Dark Death Mountain, got everything, got Hera, would have got Turtle Rock. I had everything to do Turtle Rock if I had the hammer.
Yeah, no, you did pretty well, just hammer.
Yeah, I would have had, and if I had done that, I would have gotten Meyer next, and it would have been a really clean run minus the hammer, so, next time maybe.
What can you do? Rando?
Get randoed, it was fun.
Final collection here for just 168. Not too surprised.
Yeah, I guess there are what, 6 chests in desert? That kind of did it.
Yeah, I skipped the torch, but yeah, that would have been 5 more chests that I didn't need to do, and turning in the pendant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to. Did you do desert before pod?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you skipped the torch. Makes sense, right? Because I remember. I couldn't remember who it was, but I remember thinking with someone when they got the green pendant. Gee, I hope maybe this brings him in the direction of pod because he can combine it with the green pendant turn in.
Yeah, no, that would have been smart. That would have been smart.
Yeah.
I see everybody seems to have their own predilections when it came to which pendant dungeon to clear. We've got a couple of clears. I cleared pod, and we got the ice clear from Oro.
Yep. Yeah, so me and you and Joss both, yeah, you guys both had bows going to Helma, but Joss did decide to bail before Helma Slur.
My thinking was just, well, there's an item on him, and I really don't want to come back.
What did Helma have?
Was the tin bomb pack?
Oh,
Something
nice.
like that. It was.
There, but I think that's what it was.
Uncle Bombs.
I've long forgotten, but sounds about right.
It wasn't an important item, so I've already pretty much put it out of my head.
Same here.
Well, we should probably get ready to wrap this now that it's 11 and we're about to get homemade beers collection, right?
Yep. To put the commands into chat.
Yeah, GG's to all 4 of our restreamed runners, as well as the other 8 runners in the race who are not on restream.
Yep, shout out. We had on restream today homemade beer, Cospleden, Mandium, and Oro, as well as to my co-commentator Jossie, and to our tracker Arturo, who really put in the work tracking all 4 of you today.
Yeah, and thanks, Star. It was nice working with you.
Absolutely.
Just to
a
put
couple of times before. Good fun.
Yeah. Absolutely. Even on Zelda 2, as I recall.
Yeah.
But just to put in a plug for the audience, these races are open to anyone, and we have them every weekday at either 2 p.m., 9 p.m., or 11 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you want to get some practice with different modes for ALTTPR, you know, they're a great way to join in and just have some, you know, friendly fun competing against about a dozen other people.
If someone remember the command, because I have no clue.
I'll also say it is a volunteer force who does the commentary and the tracking and the pulling together of the restream. Drossi, Star, thank you so much for performing commentary for us tonight. I'm pretty sure that Professor Renderer was the one who pulled the restream together. Arteril doing absolute yeoman's work on tracking. I'm sure I'll watch it back later and find out. For anybody who may be interested, it's another way to get involved in the community. Everybody has been super helpful every time I've said, hey, I want to comm, but I'm a newbie. That it was absolutely no problem. They teamed me up with people who really knew what they were doing and kind of got me pointed in the right direction.
Yep.
Yeah, and
new people.
Shout outs once again to Artarl. I'm just really impressed with how on top of it he was tracking 4 different runners. And
Absolutely.
Really, there was no time during the race where I was like, didn't so-and-so such and such is missing from the tracker? So yeah, that was really great.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone, for putting this race on.
I can really appreciate just how hard it is to quad track.
Yes, thank you so much. And GG's, everybody. Thank you again.
GG's, everyone. This was awesome.
Yep, good game, everybody. Thank you for putting it on. Thank you for coming out and racing. And for me.
Yeah, thanks again to our runners, and that's actually going to do it for Speed Gaming programming tonight. Be sure to give the Speed Gaming family of channels a follow. We have Speed Gaming and Speed Gaming 2 through 6, and we also have French, Spanish, German, and Portuguese options if you speak any of those languages. Next on the schedule is actually not until 2:10 tomorrow afternoon. We have the conference finals for the ALTTPR Open League between OK Game and Upstavarer South Nicht. That has not yet been assigned a channel, but it'll probably be either here or on Speed Gaming just because it looks like a fairly light day. But yeah, be sure to tune in for that. And our next daily will be tomorrow night at 11 p.m. Eastern. So check that out as well.
Yep. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good night.